It was recording. There
Hi,
you go.
Myriam.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you?
Same.
Ah! All right, let's talk about our juicy fucking retreat that we are going to be doing in October, October 17th.
Yes, it's so juicy.
So tell the people who are watching this why. Why now? Why this stage of life? Right? Midlife women, the pause before the becoming, releasing and reclaiming. Why is this so important?
Yeah, right. I mean, you and I talk extensively about, our work with women. We work very similarly with women, and we've held, such a passion for creating a space for women to feel safe, to be who they are, to learn about themselves and to be able to let go of like old bullshit stories, you know what I mean? And really, really step into themselves. And for me, I feel like, being in midlife, you know, is the time to do that
Yeah.
just organically, right? It's like, we're in menopause or moving towards menopause. And there's that word, pause, right?
Pause.
And
Yeah.
so it's like organically by nature, we're already kind of being forced to pause and think, So it's just a way to support that process. And for me, like being able to release means that, you become more aware of whatever it is that's been holding you back, like old patterns, old beliefs, behaviors, right? That all of a sudden in midlife, you're like, start questioning, you start doubting. And I think it gets really uncomfortable on purpose.
Yes.
Right?
How do we don't grow in comfort?
No,
We don't grow, we don't change, we don't
no,
transform when everything is peachy keen. It's
no.
lovely to think that, but the reality is we have to hit an edge and then start looking at, oh, do I want to go past that edge? How's that
Yeah.
feeling? What's going on? And like you said, this pause, this time of life brings so many opportunities to reevaluate. Like
Mhm.
you and I have both struggled with some health stuff, right? Like reevaluating our relationship to our own body, like what
Yes.
feeds me, what actually drains me, what feels good in my body, what feels like too much effort and too much work for the energy reserves I actually have.
Mhm.
Um, and and nobody talked about this. Like nobody talked about
Nope.
menopause. And even when you ask, like when I asked my mom, it was basically like, yeah, your grandma and I, we just kind of stopped bleeding one day. Like, I'm like, is that true? Or was it just not something you actually got to talk about? Or that, you and I are so much about like getting in there, right? Getting into the mind, getting
Yeah.
into the layers and all of that. Like maybe we're just weird that way. And we just think that
Yeah,
way.
I mean, I don't know because I feel like because, the conditioning that women have had to endure, for so long takes you away from a connection to your body and
Yes.
to yourself, right? And because menopause is really only recently being studied more extensively and
Yeah.
being understood, I think up until this point, what women were being sold was it's just something you have to deal with. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the end of the story.
Yeah, not only that, I wrote something recently about how we are actually creating kind of this cultural emergence because in the past, women just stopped working, like,
Mhm.
or they didn't work.
They didn't
And
work.
and we are kind of building this template for we're still young, we still have energy, we're still working, we enjoy our work, we're passionate, we have our side projects, we're doing all of these things, we're living longer, where our lives are fuller in a different way for a longer period of time. And so, yeah, we're having to kind of renegotiate all of that. Like maybe I stopped my 9 to 5, but now I want to write a book. or,
Right. Or take that dance class that I've been, longing for all this time,
yes, start to
or
write
something like that.
poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that one of the things that women struggle with, in this time of life is that, the messaging is that like that's it. We're done with you now.
Not only
We
that,
don't
but
have
you
right.
disappear now. You're
Yeah, exactly. I
invisible.
mean, you're no longer relevant, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not in your childbearing years. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, what a really powerful and icky message, for us to receive. And so what we're trying to do here is give women, another perspective, which is like, no, this is just starting.
Yeah.
This is where the juicy stuff is. This is where
Yeah.
the rumble is, right? And this is where your evolution
Yeah.
really takes place, right? And so releasing, all the old stuff, patriarchal systems, ideas, beliefs, right?
Roles,
Roles, absolute rules,
rules.
rules that we're supposed to be following, et cetera. And then like reclaiming yourself. That's what it's all about. Like you,
Yeah.
yourself, your soul, every part of you, your
Yeah.
dreams, your desires, your wants. These are all things that, historically women have not been allowed to have. We're not allowed to have desire. We're not allowed to have pleasure. We're not
Yeah.
allowed to like want things, for ourselves because
So
we're supposed to
let's
caretake.
let's break each of these down. So we've got a few words that we're throwing out there that you and I both very consciously chose for this experience. So the first word we've got is pause, then we've got release, and then we've got reclaim. So let's talk for a second about what the fuck is a pause? Like why is that even a thing? What would that actually look like? What are we inviting in this retreat as far as a pause?
Yeah, really. The first thing that came to mind when you said that was I got this visual of like a woman like running, 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 right? And it's like that's again, that's so much of the
Yeah.
conditioning. You have to constantly be doing, taking care of other people, et cetera. And so the pause is actually that. Like, can you just stop for a second,
Yeah.
right? And really reassess what's happening here,
Yeah.
right? And how do you feel about continuing to run,
Yeah.
right?
I also
Constantly.
got the kind of
Mm-hmm.
like if we shut it all out, la 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 la, right? We
Mm-hmm.
take the thoughts, the voices, the to-dos, all of the things, and then we just let ourselves settle again, right? Like I know for me, when I give myself that space and time, that's when brilliant ideas show up. That's when I realize I want to take that dance class. That's when I recognize, like, you know what? Caffeine's not really working for me anymore. Like, I need to stop doing that. I need to find something else in the mornings that help me feel connected, warm, but not caffeine, right?
Right.
Like, it helps us listen to those deeper messages. And it's not so we can become more productive. That might be a byproduct, a natural byproduct of giving ourselves that space, but really that's not what it's about. It's like you said, how can I reconnect? Who am I today? What do I want today? What's feeding
Mm-hmm.
me today? What am I hungry for? What
I
wants
think about it
coming?
as moving to like away from autopilot,
Yeah.
right? Where you're just again just kind of following the programming and
Mhm.
just doing the thing. But the pause, like you said, it just creates a space to actually think,
Yeah.
right? And reflect around what am I doing with my life? Like, is this working for me? Is this not working for me? Whether it's, something as simple as like, is caffeine really working for me?
Right. Right.
Or whatever the behavior is, but just being able to have that reflection. But I think what can be scary for people, right, is that when you do pause,
The feelings catch up with you.
feelings. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I think that's part of what we run away from, right? Like our sensations
Yes.
begin feelings because, how you feel on the inside in this autopilot mode is typically not good, right? And
Yes.
so when you pause and really sit with that, it's like, oh, this is what I was
Mhm.
trying to avoid all along. It's like,
Yeah.
right. So what if instead, right, you actually, this is a reclaiming for me, like you reclaim,
Yeah.
right, your feelings and your sensations in your body as cues,
Yeah.
right, as indicators, as guides, right, that something is working or not, or
Yeah.
that you want something different in your life, right? Versus running
Well,
away.
and in the retreat, so you and I
Mhm.
have talked about having space for journaling,
Mhm.
to just let whatever's bubbling up have a place to go. We've talked about having people go out into nature and do some grounding, a nature walk, just let their brain wander, look at pretty things, pet an animal, like just, kind of get out of the box
Mhm.
and the usual. We've talked about also kind of the combination of the pause, but also the release of like having some movement and like just really letting some things go physically, letting things move through us, through the page of the artwork that you'll be bringing in. Just we've really thought about all of these elements, like giving that spaciousness. Even when we eat, like, can we eat in a spacious way? Can we taste our food? Can we, like, just be present with the moment? And then we've got the release, which you've headed into, like the ritual of what am I actually setting down? What am I done with? What is too heavy for me to carry anymore? What was never mine to carry in the first fucking place, right? That I'm finally like, oh, I actually don't have to carry that. That's not mine,
Yeah, imagine that, but we talked a little bit too about like how scary that is
Yes,
also, right?
yes,
Because whatever patterns we've been, involved in for a lifetime, all of a sudden, they've been our buddies, you know what I mean? They've walked side by side with us, and it can feel a little scary to like let go of that. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that that's part of the
yeah,
process, and so they're really surprised and sometimes frustrated and scared because it's like, wait, I thought I wanted this change, and it's like, no, you do want this change. It's just that we have to have like a breakup session with these old parts. That's kind of how I call
yep,
it.
yep,
It's like we're saying to these old parts, it's not you, it's me,
yep,
right? I'm the
yep,
one that's making the decision and changing.
yeah.
And weirdly enough, there's a grief process involved in
There
that. Like,
is
oh
always,
wow, this old part of
always.
me I have to let go. And oh wow, she's been a part of me for so long, and this is
Yeah.
hard. And it's like, yeah, that's all part of the process.
Well, and based on the way that you and I work, it's like it's this double-edged sword. Yes, we're setting something down. Yes, we're releasing it, but we're actually not getting rid of it. Integration is that I'm reorienting to it. I'm giving it a different job. I'm saying you get to relax, girlfriend. Like you get to just go sit on a fucking beach with pina colada and like I got this. I got this. I'm in control
You got it.
now. Like everybody can relax. I'm deciding what we're doing from this point forward, right? So I just wanted to throw that in there because again, yeah, sometimes it's a fearful thing of like, but I can't let go of this part of me. Well, we're not asking you to let go of a part of you. We're asking you to set it down and reorient and then maybe look over here to like, oh, who else is over here that I haven't tapped into in a long time? Like, what are, like you said, the dance class, like, where's my inner dancer? Like, I want her to come out, and this part of me doesn't really allow for that. So she's going to be quiet for a little while and hang out over there and drink her pina colada so I can dance,
That's right. I think that's a,
right?
a perfect way of laying it out for people, because I think that's part of the fear. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't want to lose these
Yes.
parts of me. And it's like, no, you don't have to lose these parts. You're
Yes.
just developing a different relationship
Yes.
with these parts, letting them rest so
Yeah.
that, other parts can emerge,
Exactly. So let's
right?
talk about that piece, the reclamation, right? Well,
Mhm.
reclaiming. What does that even mean? What are we inviting? How are we inviting that?
Yeah. I mean, that is just such a powerful word. Like, I felt like this energetic surge, when you said that, like, wow,
Yeah.
to reclaim, like, what a powerful
Yeah.
word, right?
I
What a
want it.
powerful, yeah,
I'm
what a
taking it
powerful
back.
action, to
Yeah.
reclaim. But it is so much about like these parts of ourselves that we've had to ignore, deny,
Yeah.
or not even had any awareness of, and if
Didn't
we
have
move
permission
if we
for.
move the problem students, and just say, have a seat over here, let me give you a lollipop, right? Then we can reclaim these other parts. And sometimes for me, and maybe it comes from my bias of working with children, for almost 35 years. It's like, no, it's these almost childlike states, that had to be shut down for
Yeah.
whatever reason, in your lifetime, and that those parts can emerge,
Yes.
in my practice, of doing art with people and using creativity as a tool. I notice people get kind of glee-ish, right? I
Yeah.
pull out some markers and all of a sudden the energy changes in the room and it's like,
Yes.
ooh, right? It's like,
Get
yes,
to play.
that's exactly what we're trying to connect to, the
Yeah.
play,
Yeah.
the lightness, and
Yeah.
letting yourself like feel free.
One of the reasons that Miriam and I connect so well is specifically because of this aspect of play, of yeah, letting go of the masks, letting go of all of those things so that we can tap into that deep well of vitality that's always been there from the beginning of our lives,
Hmm.
and finding different ways to play with it. So you bring in art and doodling and like the neurographics and just like let's get out of the head and just like do the colors and movement and all of these things, and then let's just see what comes, what's here, what shows up, and then for me it's literal play, like let's get weird, let's get ridiculous, let's make sounds, let's move our bodies, let's laugh, and we both bring those things into the work we do. I bring in art, you bring in play and movement. So I think that with our specific expertise, you in art and me in theater and movement, we're inviting kind of such a wealth of opportunity to play and to
Exactly.
work with those edges and the parts of us that don't feel it's safe to play or feel like now I'm negating some role I've been playing or some aspect of who I think I am by inviting this play.
Exactly. All the lightness, right?
All the
It's a
lightness,
lot of lightness, which is part of, like, it's interesting, like the segue, like, okay, releasing,
right?
right, is part of what gets you to the lightness because you've been carrying all the stuff, for so long. It's like, oh, wow, now I can
Mm.
actually literally in my body feel lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I
All right,
love it.
Miriam, what are we not giving them? Like, what are we not
Oh,
promising
my goodness.
in this workshop?
Yeah, so that was like a trigger. We are not promising automatic transformation, right? You will not be healed after this
What does that
retreat.
even mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But that's the
Yeah.
buzzword
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
The other buzzword, is my nervous system will be regulated, and it's like, oh, well, that's not a permanent state. So let's stay with reality. I always say to my clients, like, I only work with reality.
Right.
I
Right.
work with realistic expectations, So anything that feels like, oh, this is the one hit wonder, this is going to be it for me,
Yeah.
everything's going to change after this, anything like that. So anybody who's looking for a quick fix, this might not be for you, right? But if you're looking for that deeper dive and you can understand that it's an ongoing evolution, that's
Yeah.
totally different.
And I want to speak to that. We know from the work again that we do that we have clients who it's 55 minutes out of a 60-minute hour or 45 minutes out of a 50-minute hour. And all of a sudden, we're now finally talking about what we want to talk about. The doorknob dash, right? Oh, and by the way, I'm divorcing my husband. Bye, right? So I'm a firm believer in the idea of intensives, right? The idea of everything we've been talking about, creating the spaciousness, the time, the opportunity to push edges, to set something down, to play with something, to reclaim something, to grapple with something. Because the more time we have to do that, and the more we have the opportunity to hear other women in their process and go, ah, yeah, me too. Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, that's a great idea, right? Like all of those things, that spaciousness, that time allows us to kind of gently break through the layers so we can get to some of that deeper material. We can get to some of the sisterhood wounding. We can get to whatever the things are, right? And do it in a way that is safe and is I
Yeah,
get this
I want to throw in the word sacred in there.
sacred. Yes, because I was just going to say I have this. I teach about trauma informed care, and I often teach we can't actually guarantee a safe space. We can guarantee a brave space, and there are
Mhm.
conditions that are required in order for people to feel safe enough to be brave. And that's what we're really doing is we're creating a brave space for people to try on these options at their own pace,
I
right?
think that's what how you and I actually stand out, from
Mm,
most facilitators is that, we're really experienced in facilitation, but we're also really experienced in holding space in that way for
yeah.
people
Yeah.
and being really boundaried.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Anything
I'm
else
excited.
you can think of that, yeah, makes this opportunity a little different. I think we've named a lot of things, our background with creativity, art, play, movement, the fact that we're both trauma informed and trauma
Mhm,
specific practitioners. We know how to
mhm.
hold that deep space, invite bravery, but also have very clear boundaries and guidelines for how that happens in a room. Um, the space itself is freaking gorgeous.
I mean, I just want to say one quick thing about that, and that's that, when we went to go look at this space, you step out of your car and immediately it's like, oh, like your
Right.
whole body just kind of
Yes.
melts because again, being in nature
Yeah.
and having quiet, at an, kind of isolated place is just
Yeah.
immediately transformative in the body.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, we're going to be doing this at Open Sky Retreat Center
Hmm.
outside of Sebastopol. And it is a gorgeous space, a nice big group room, plenty of outside space. We've got an outdoor kitchen. You can go look at the lambs and pet them if they come near you. There's plenty of places to walk and explore.
Yeah, and lots of little nooks to sit
Little
and
nooks with
yeah,
like
just hang out.
statues and cool things, they everything that's been brought to that property from Bali and Thailand and other cultures. It's a Buddhist sanctuary, and so being able to yeah just soak in the energy of a different space just by
Yeah.
itself is can
And
be
really feel your body slow down.
mhm, mhm.
I
Yeah,
think that, again, if we go back to the pause, I think that's the moment,
yeah, yeah,
right? Where all the noise stops and
yeah.
you can get quiet and listen.
And we all need this.
Oh,
This
100%.
is, again, like you were saying, this is not about like we're going to have the big breakthrough and catharsis, and maybe that happens, who knows?
It
But this
could.
really is about what we are designed to do, which is to be with other bodies, to slow it all down, to reflect, to question, to listen, to express. Um, And we desperately need that. And we need more of those kinds of spaces where we just, yeah, get to set it all down. And you and I have done this before, and we would love to keep doing it. We would love to keep creating these kinds of
Mhm.
spaces where we just really get to bring in all of these pieces and the piece of ritual, like liminal space, setting the real world, quote unquote, outside,
Yes,
stepping into a magical, transformative, co-created space where who knows what could happen.
that's right. Staying curious.
Yes, staying curious.
Love
Exactly.
that.
Yay.
So excited.
So we're going to be doing this October 17th. From, let's see, what did we decide? 9 a.m.
Nine
to
to five. Yeah.
5.
9 to 5. Yeah. With a
And
lunch in between. And
yeah,
again, plenty of space, for integration, reflection, etc.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have the link below. Feel free to reach out to either one of us. Our contact information will be also down below. And yeah, we would really love to see you. October 17th, we have our early bird pricing going on right now. So take advantage of it and take this time for yourself to pause, figure out how you're morphing and changing. I always just think of that butterfly metaphor, right? Like go in,
Yeah, no, for sure.
dissolve, let us help you dissolve in that cocoon so that you can decide how you want to rearrange yourself and come back out into the world.
And I would say, to any woman watching, like, you deserve this.
Yeah.
You deserve it. And
Yeah.
there might be a woman watching going, I don't know, but my kids and my, whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
you deserve it.
Yes. Yes. All right. We'll see you soon. Mwah.
All right, bye.